متئورنزی. ضعف رژیم ایران امروز باور نکردنی است. اکنون زمان اقدام و فراخوان برای اقدام است، زیرا الان زمان ضعف تهران است. من 10 سال پیش زمانی که نخست وزیر بودم در تهران بودم. ما هر نوع تلاشی را برای استفاده از راه دیپلماتیک برای میانه رو کردن این رژیم به کار بستیم و اکنون باید بپذیریم که این کار غیر ممکن است. ما باید جنبشی مانند جنبش شما خانم رجوی را تشویق کنیم که در داخل و خارج از ایران تلاش می کند تا پیامی از اعتبار و امید بدهد. زیرا در این دوران تحول جهانی صلح در ایران و صلح در خاورمیانه به ثبات و تغییر در ایران بستگی دارد.
Thank you. Thank you, Madame Rajavi. My dear friend, Prime Minister Verhofstadt, dear friends of European Parliament. I think it's a very great to stay together here in the European Parliament to celebrate this day. I love the optimism of my friend Guy about the next celebration next year or maybe 2027, but it's important to give a message very clear. We live chaotic times. It's unbelievable if you think. In the last years, a lot of changes around the world. And these papers we have in our table with the number of execution, with the report of the last events in the last days, 46 people killed in the prisons of Tehran in the last 5 days. Remember to us how is brutal the Iranian regime. But this brutal regime is a signal of probably this is the most incredible period for the Iranian regime. Weakness of Iranian regime is incredible today. This is time to act and to call the act because this is the time of weakness for Tehran. The problem, of course, is what type of intervention. I'm witness in the last 10 years of the efforts of international community, G7, European countries, global community. We tried to discuss with the Iranian regime. I was in Tehran 10 years ago as prime minister when I was in the office. We did every type of efforts to try to use diplomatic way and moderate this regime. And now we have to admit that is impossible. So the real question is what type of challenge we have today to avoid this is simply a celebration or a great moment to say ciao. We have 2 alternatives. The first, bombing from abroad. We saw this is impossible. It's not sufficient. It work. It's not the way. The alternative, maintain an approach as politically correct. The last 10 years also we did. Both are not good ways. So we have to encourage a movement, as your movement, Madame Rajavi, tried to do inside Iran and outside, to give a message of credibility and hope, because in this global time of change, peace in Iran, peace in Middle East depends on the stability and the change in Iran. We understood what happened in the last years for Hezbollah, for Hamas, for Houthi, and for all the proxy who Iranian regime financed. But now it's time to consider the priority of Tehran as the number one to change finally the long war inside the Middle East area. And I conclude exactly with that. If we look about the last 10 years, Guy, we were together in a different role 10 years ago. I remembered what happened in Brussels, in Paris, in the most important cities and capitals in the European Union 10 years ago. Terrorism arrived from everywhere, also inside our cities. Starting from Middle East, but using the people who lived in Molenbeek or in another banlieue in this city or in the other cities. What happened? Happened the lack of politics from international institutions allow to the international terrorism to have a green light also inside our cities. Because we don't block in Middle East. Now, 10 years ago, a lot of things are changed in the part of Middle East, in some regions of Middle East, but we have Iran as the most important problem. Iran is the place of creation of one of the most important civilizations of the history. Iran have to be the next frontier. And I finish, Madame Rajavi, with a message of hope, because you can look, I have to turn, the images not only of a very great number of people with you here, but also, Leoluca knows what I see, the images of an Italian leader, an Italian statesman, a great Italian man, Alcide de Gasperi. Alcide de Gasperi was the man during fascism who maintained the light of resistance. And he was the prime minister after World War II, after the end of fascism, and he had a very terrible job because starting from the war to rebring Italy in the international community. He was a great leader and he saved our country. I hope the presence of this event in a room dedicated to him could help not only everyone to try to do the best in our experience as politicians, but also Iranian people, because the presence of the message of Alcide de Gasperi is a message for everyone of you. You can come back to light after decades of dark lights. Thank you so much.
Bravo.